Simon, and this is my Module 5, Understanding My Community, and this is Textline ISD. So when we look at some of the customs and traditions here at Textline ISD, we are a pre-K through 12th grade school. And the school in our small community is the center of the community. Everything that's not done basically at the churches is probably done here at the school. Some of the traditions we have here is we have a tradition of a great boys basketball team. We won state in 2015, first state record for Textline ISD, so that was a really big deal. We have a Meet the Teacher night every year, and parents all the way from pre-K through 12th grade come in, meet the teachers, or asking us, how our summer was and looking forward to this year, anything they can do to help us. So it's a really great time for parents and teachers to kind of mingle together. We have a fall festival that's been going on for about 15 years now. And this is a great tradition here for not only Textline ISD, but for our surrounding communities. Since we live so close to New Mexico, we get a lot of people from there that come over. And so it's just kind of become a great thing for the community. Every class puts on a different booth. We have a spook walk and dinner, and it's just a lot of great time. The elementary Christmas play is another time for the community to come together. Our high school drama class produces the elementary Christmas play. Our 4th and 5th grade are the actors in it, with the lower elementary singing songs, and it's just really a great time. Our county fair, our county is in a bi-county, so it's Dallam and Hartley County. So I would say probably 85 to 87% of our students show some type of livestock in the county fair and are involved with that. And a lot of them then continue to take their projects downstate for some of the major shows. One of the things that I love about Textline ISD is the senior walk that started about 5 years ago. Because we're such a small school, we're all housed in one building. So our high school and junior high kids interact with our elementary all the time. They're all in the cafeteria sometimes together. The junior high and high school help out with remediation for the elementary. And our senior walk is a time when our seniors put on their cap and gowns. They walk down the elementary hallway. All the elementary students are giving them high fives. This is a great thing for the seniors that are leaving to kind of look back and share a last moment with those small kids. But it's also great for those little kids that look up to them. And then the elementary track day is at the end of the year, and this is a fun time for the community. We have a big cookout. Lots of people come and cheer on the little kids as they're playing. Something else that is a big custom here at Textline ISD, as I said kind of a little bit before, is our FFA program. Every student at Textline ISD is in at least one FFA class, if not more, throughout their career. And, it just plays a big part in our community as a whole. I would think if you think of Textline ISD, one of the things that you consider is we're a very conservative school system, and that really shows up in our student handbook and just kind of the reflection of how we expect our students to dress and how our students to act. And we also do have a large Mennonite population here at Textline. They do have their own church, of course, and their own school where their students attend K through 8th grade. When you look at the population characteristics of Textline ISD, there was approximately 178 students last year. We're about that now, pretty even, male to female. And then when you look at our ethnicity, the two largest groups, of course, are our Hispanic population and our white population, and they're pretty even. Our economically disadvantaged population is higher than the state average right now, and it has continued to rise. It has risen at least 3% in the last year. So this is something that we are watching closely. 18% are ELL, and then we have 8.4 in our special education services. Some of the characteristics of our population here at Textline is our population right now is about 529 with the median age at 48.2. When we look at educational attainment with high school graduate or higher, we're at 82.1%. This is right in line with the state average. Median household income, $53,750, and individuals below the poverty level is about 10.2. As I said previously, we do have a very large Hispanic population, with roughly half of our population in town being Hispanic. When we look at the sources of employment here at TextLine, I would say not, I mean, you could basically say 100% has something to do with agriculture. Farming, ranching, truck driving, and support jobs. I mean, even banking, probably the majority of their money comes through ag lending. So I've listed here three of our main companies here in town. Pool Chemical Company is a company that specializes in fertilizers and things like that for farming. 3B Farms is a large farming corporation, and then Besner Beef is a feedlot that is just right outside of town. Our communication channels, of course, we have our website and our Facebook page. Those are two things that get used a lot, with not only from administration but also from teachers and parents posting things. We do send out monthly mail outs. We do have a lot of older community that like to see what's going on, kind of what's coming up and different things. We do have a Honeywell phone system that sends out phone messages, text, and emails. Teachers use the Remind app to stay in contact with parents. And then our radio station that will come and do some of our sporting events and that we send out information through is out of Clayton, New Mexico. And then our news stations that we use for letting people know about cancellations or things like that is out of Amarillo, Texas. So when we look at some of the different community groups that are associated with TISD, of course, as I said before, FFA is a really big part. We also have Student Council and National Honor Society. And then a year ago, we started the 4 Club under the Rachel's Challenge. Some of the organizations at TextLine, we have a lot of church organizations that work a lot with the school. They help with our snack pack for kids that we do. They also will come in and help during what we call tornado time, which is a remediation time with our elementary. We have a city council that is here to support the city. We have a Masonic Lodge, Lions Club, and a volunteer fire department. So the leadership at TextLine ISD, I think, a leadership starts at the top. And so we have our school board. These are our school board members that are pictured here. And that information then comes down to the administration. And I put the administration together because we're such a small school and community. Our superintendent and principal work very closely together. And then from them, it comes down to teachers. Here at TextLine, you have your city council with your mayor and then other prominent people in the community. These are going to be our business owners. These are going to be some of our school board members, people that have lived here a long time and just have a really vested interest in TextLine staying active and staying up to date with everything. So some of the characteristics for our community leaders, when I look at our school board, these are longstanding members of the community. A lot of our school board members have been on the school board for 15 plus years. Most of them have either attended TextLine ISD, have kids or grandkids that have attended. And they are extremely supportive of the administration and the teachers. At the beginning of the school year, they come in and cook us all breakfast. And at the end of the year, they cook us a lunch. During Christmas, they give us out bonuses. I mean, they just are really here to support us. And you can generally tell that they appreciate what we're doing. TextLine, our city council, they work really hard to, just make sure that the town stays active and stays relevant. They work at having days for community cleanup days where they go out and they just clean up. We have Highway 87 that goes right down the middle of the town. So we get a lot of traffic from other places. And so just kind of keeping up with all that. Masonic Lodge, they offer scholarships for students. And then our Lions Club gives time and resources. They have a eyeglass program. So if we have any students that can't afford eyeglasses of their own, we send them to the Lions Club and the Lions Club works with them for that. So the economic conditions here at TextLine, we have a very low unemployment rate. Basically, if you're a hard worker and you want a job, you can find one around TextLine. We do have a low cost of living, as you can see here. I would say our economic conditions are largely dependent on the agricultural industry. If that industry is doing well, of course, our employment is going to be doing well. People are going to be making money. And if it's not, you could have some layoffs, people that are having to go to other places. If some of the feedlots closed like they did about 5 years ago, people had to go to other states to find other jobs. So the political structure, because I think we're so small, I definitely believe that politics and education in Texline go hand in hand. Some of the same people that are sitting on the school board are sitting on the city council. They're the president of the bank. They have kids in the school. They're volunteering. And if you look at how we receive our funding, the majority of all of our funding comes from our local taxes. We receive very little of our funding from our state and federal. So some of the social tensions that I see, there is a very distinct line between ethnicities in social settings. Well, kids here at school intermingle. When it gets out into the social settings with the adults, there seems to be a lot more of a separation. The opioid use in our area has increased tremendously over the last several years. Dallam County is where we are located, and you can see there that our 4.5%, which is on the rise every year, is higher than the Texas and the national average. And then adults reporting excessive or heavy drinking. Here again, Dallam County setting at 20% is still above the Texas and the national average. So where do we get some extra sources of information? Of course, we can always go back to our school board minutes, our school city council minutes. We have 2 newspapers that produce things about Texline, our Dalhart Texan, which is the county newspaper, and then the Clayton, New Mexico newspaper will post things. And then, of course, in a small town, word of mouth gets information going from one place to another. You just have to make sure that it's the right information. So when I look at the power structures in Texline ISD, as I said before, all the leadership and power comes from the top, school board making decisions that then are influenced by the administration. They come down to the teachers. And then you'll notice off of the administration, I did go from administration to community and parents. The administration will be handling any type of power issues with the community or the parents. If there's just an issue with a teacher, the parents will meet with the teacher and then maybe go to the administration. And then I included students at the very end down here because students are what make the whole school possible. So some multicultural issues. We, as I said before, have a very large Hispanic population. So we tried to do everything in both English and Spanish. We have a very strong ESL program. Our students are identified very early on so that we can give them as much assistance as possible as they learn the language and get them to where they need to be as quickly as possible. We do try to do as much inclusion and immersion as possible at all times. So measuring public opinion, a lot of support comes from our community. They come in and they help with remediation stuff. We have parents that come in and provide meals during state testing time for teachers and snacks. We don't have an official parent club organization, but we have a lot of parents that care about this school and about the people in it. We do receive a lot of requests for transfers each year. Our rating system has continued to go up over the last years, while some of the schools around us have kind of been going down. And so we do get a lot of transfers. And then, as I said, we have a large number of parents that support the staff. They're always there to help us out. Now, public opinion surveys, this is one area that I have to say I don't think we do as well as we could on this. We do hand out one survey at the end of the year, but it's, hey, if they want to turn it back in, great. Try to get it if you can, not a big deal. I wished that we could possibly do more with that. I think that the parents, even though they're involved, could possibly feel more involved. And then also getting a survey from our students would be a big help. Thank you so much for watching my video on Texline ISD.